Welcome to Card Players The Circuit, hosted by your favorite set, Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Sebok.
That's right, everybody. You're listening to the Circuit radio program. We are broadcasting on Sports Byline Radio on Sirius Channel 122 on cardplayer.com and on the iTunes Music Store as a podcast. Scott Huff with Gavin Smith and Joe Sebok. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
What's happening?
I don't know. We're here at the Bellagio, as everyone knows by now, I hope, in Las Vegas, Nevada. A beautiful view outside right now from the suite.
It's good. You know that Bellagio makes great milkshakes.
Do they?
I have one almost every day, a vanilla milkshake.
Their milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard.
You almost got me to sing it. Did you hear that? You almost got me to sing it.
We got one of those.
Wow.
You don't want to do it?
I do have a penis. I'm going to.
You don't want to do it? You want to try?
I kind of do.
If I was like, la, 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 la. You want to do it? No, you want to try?
If Gavin does it, I'll do it.
No, apparently
That's a no. Look at that face.
Ooga booga.
Ooga booga.
Well, we have a great show for everybody tonight. We're going to have your hand of the day. Phone calls. Get them in by 6 p.m. Pacific time each night if you'd like to hear yourself on the air. We have some emails and
my brothers.
Tuan and Nam Le. That's right.
These guys are a part of the unofficial family.
That's right. The Bears' real poker son will be on the show tonight, Tuan Le.
That hurts.
You'll hear
much.
more about that later. So the last couple of days have been eventful for you guys. Gavin, why don't you tell everybody about your TV appearance tonight?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be on the Best Damn Sports Show, period, tonight. And, I'm on it with Chris Rose and Rodney Pete and that girl, Lauren something or other.
Oh, no Spider Sally anymore?
No.
Really?
Wow, that's
what were you on there talking about?
I was on there actually talking about the Mansion Poker free roll, but we were talking as if we still had to play it.
Oh,
which you did not,
because it's on. Is it airing? It airs on Fox Sports, so they
next
are
week, right?
Keeping the illusion of the live game going.
Well, that's great. I'm gonna be on Dateline tonight.
Are you? That's great.
Discussing the educational system in America. No one ever asked me to be on anything. I was just jealous because Gavin got to go on the best.
Well, you're one of the hosts of the Mansion Poker pre-roll.
So. Well, I'm not yet. I'm going to be. Because what actually happened is they asked me to do it, and I told them I couldn't do it because of the World Series. There's just too much going on, especially with our show, and everything. It would just be impossible. So I'm not going to be taking on those duties until after the World Series.
Right, but you're a part of it, so you are going to be on television. We will see you on television.
I appreciate the bone. Thank you.
Right. Today's event was a stud event at the World Series. What do you two have against stud? Neither of you played.
I don't really have anything against that. I would have played a $1,500 buy-in event. I really didn't want to make it to tomorrow because I want to play the 5,000 Omaha. So it just seemed like a natural take a day off day, and so we went out. We had some fun last night, and get back at the grind tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't even think I love Stud. Stud's probably my second favorite game.
Really?
My second best game. But I have decided I'm only going to play in the tournaments that I really have a chance to win, and those are going to be all the Hold'em events. And it works out nicely for me because I get, every week like a day off, so I can kind of regroup. So I decided to put my energy into things I really feel I have a shot to win.
We have absolutely never even broached the subject of stud. We've never come close. I tried when David Singer was on the show, when the Mouth was still the co-host, and he shot me down in a quite embarrassing way that our super producer over there, Danny, left in for all to hear, where they basically just told me that I would lose every listener in the history of the show if we talked about stud.
Because they were just so sure everyone wanted to talk about Hold'em, and that was it.
Well, we talk about No Limit Hold'em all the time. If it's your second favorite game, why don't we talk a little bit of stud here? Is there, when you're playing a stud tournament with the stacks that you start with today,
right?
What are the differences when you're playing? I mean, stud there's not as much pressure in stud, obviously, is there? I mean, tournament strategy, how does it change between that and a no limit or a limit Hold'em event? Well,
I don't think that playing these anything limit with a small amount of chips, it doesn't change that much. I mean, you still have to get lucky. There's no question about that. I think a big part of stud is so much of it is just the memory and keeping track of the board that's in front of you, because you don't have one board of community cards. You have 3 or 4 or 5, how many people are in the hand, their entire board separately, and how that affects your hand, how it affects each other's hands. If you look and you see a bunch of hearts, you can make a decision based on if you're going for a flush or if you feel someone else is. So it's really just a lot of things that you have to keep in your head, versus Hold'em, you don't have to remember as many things.
So I think it's a more complicated game?
It's differently complicated, is all I would say. I mean, I think each game has its own nuance and its own set of things you have to keep it straight in your head. So I don't want to say it's more, it's just differently complicated. It's a different set of things that you have to keep straight in your head.
That was a good save because I was really scrounging for a question there. I was like, tournament strategy, and then you do what with the cards, and you're like, and then you brought it back to somewhere where we could actually use the information somewhat. So that was good. Gavin, you a stud player?
I bet once in a while.
Yeah.
You're a stud. I mean,
we have that going for us.
Actually, to be honest with you, I think stud has like a lot more poker in it than most games. You can make a lot more moves in stud than you can in any other form of limit poker. Yeah. So I kind of like it because, I can get creative and I like to do that.
Well, what's that a function of, the fact that you can make more moves? Just what Joe was talking about, the fact that there's just more information out there allows you to make more sophisticated moves?
It's just more about people reading and hand reading. You can if you can read people well in stud, you can get them to throw away marginal hands, like, where they just can't call you down. Like, it's very difficult to call people with one pair in stud. And and if you know that the person's only got one pair, you pop in a raise on 5th or 6th Street, and you can outplay people a lot of times.
So it is the additional information, the fact that there are more up cards. You can make it a much more reasonable assessment.
Well, yeah, and you've also got an extra betting street, so that's just one more street where you're gaining information.
All right. Yeah, no. I was just going to agree. I mean, I think one thing that you see sometimes is somebody will have like a pair showing, and if you have that beat, they'll play that so aggressively, trying to make you think that they have, trips or that they have something else. So if you have something that has that beat, you really can kind of get people to fall into, their own trap a lot of the time, which is always nice.
All right, now it's time for some World Series of Poker news. World Series of Poker news. It is the news about the World Series of Poker. People don't like that. They're writing me emails.
It's the super.
They want something more. They want something more clever.
Well, yeah, because that is the antithesis of clever.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, our player of the day today, as everyone knows, we are.
What does antithesis mean?
Oh boy. Vocabulary lesson.
It's not coming from me. No,
I'm not doing it.
From me.
That's right. Oh, you read the post on the forum today. Now you don't want to answer about Gavin's words. All right. Our player of the day today, Umberto Brenes. Why don't you guys break it down? You have a minute to talk a little bit about Umberto's game and what you know of it.
I really haven't played much with Umberto. I think he's. I think he's kind of on the tightish side. But then he just, those Costa Ricans just all of a sudden throw some like goofball plays in there and just go crazy. But I really, to be honest with you, I do not know very much about Umberto. I think I've only played one time with him ever.
Could this be a brick out?
Well, I got to be honest, Gavin Smith. That's one more time I've ever played with him.
Yeah.
I think he's a very nice guy. I don't think I've ever sat at a table with him. So I don't want to, throw anything in there that is a lie. But he is a total crazy lunatic. No, I have no.
And we know he can call for cards like 8s if he wants them. He just screams out.
Oh, that's
if he screams out the card in Spanish, he can get it. So that's really informative for everybody out there. So in some actual World Series of Poker news, I wanted to run something by you guys here. I have a sound clip ready to go of one Phil Hellmuth as he is starting off this World Series pretty strong. This is what he had to say back at the Bay 101 Shooting Star in San Jose.
There's a few people in the world that don't know who I really am in the poker world. They really don't. They haven't played with me enough to see me at my full strength. So I'm going to show him the next 10 years who I am.
So Phil obviously was calling that out from deep, and now the World Series of Poker, which everyone knows he shows up for, just at full power, as he likes to say. Right. What do you guys think about Phil's game so far? Well, I heard you guys commenting on it before the show.
Pretty awesome what he's doing right so far. I mean, when Phil wants to play, Phil is as good as they come, especially No Limit Hold'em. I mean, he's a fantastic player. So I mean, and he gets more motivated for World Series than probably anybody. He really, really wants to win a bracelet and catch Doyle and Johnny Chan. So Phil's going to be tough this whole 6 weeks. He's going to play some great poker, I'm sure.
Have either of you sat with him at all so far?
Yes.
You did sit with him.
I did sit with him. Yeah, I mean, he's playing well. I mean, he's only been cashing. I think he got pretty deep yesterday or the day before. He finished 12th or something like that.
Right, he's still alive and
he's playing. I mean,
no limit.
This is his bag. I mean, this is the thing. I played with him. He was very chatty. He seemed like he was in a very good mood. He walked around the table and shook everyone's hand. And yeah, I mean, it's everything that Gavin just said is true. He's motivated, and he certainly wants to catch up. So, I don't know if I'm going to say he's as good as they come. I mean, I think.
Well, where would you guys place him now in the best no limit players in the world? I mean, he's
not aggressive enough, in my opinion. He's not aggressive enough.
He picks his spots pretty good. I think. Yeah. I don't agree that he's not aggressive enough. I mean, he's just not willing to do the gambling that other people are.
But that's how you win these tournaments.
No. Phil acts like he's super tight, and then before you know it, he's in there stealing his fair share of pots too. I think Phil is probably in tournament players top 20 in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Top 20?
Sure, I'd put him in the top 20, sure.
You can't narrow down any.
I'm not putting him in the top 5. I mean, I wouldn't do that.
I mean, I think that when you take the top 20, I think that, on any given day, any one of them could be number one. I think it's there's very little to choose between the top 20 in the world, and I think Phil's right there with everybody else.
All right, well, quickly, we had the $3,000 limit hold'em. The winner was William Chen, $343,000 for him. The $2,000 Omaha 8 or better final table. Jeff Madsen is the chip leader there with $225,000. Daniel Negreanu started the day with third in chips with $166,000. I'm not sure where he is. Huck Seed came in 11th there. Brandon Adams 15th, and Andy Block, who was on the show earlier this week, came in 23rd. And the $5,000 limit, as we mentioned, the chip leader coming into the day was Eric Cahalis, and Phil was right on his tail there with 126,300 in chips. A couple other big names still alive, Vinny Vin, and somebody that we've had on the show before, Bobby Belande. And Marcel Lusk actually was still alive. Speaking of Belande and Phil Hellmuth, our hand of the day today.
Nice hand, sir.
Involves the two of them. Phil Hellmuth raises from the button to 4,500, and Jean-Robert Belande calls from the small blind. The flop comes ace 4-3, and Belande bets the minimum 1,600. Hellmuth raises to 5,000, and Belande makes the call. The turn is a 7, and Belande bets the minimum again, and again Hellmuth raises 5,000 behind it. Belande calls again, and the river is a 10. This may sound repetitive, but Belande bet the minimum again, only this time Hellmuth just called. Belande showed ace-9, and Hellmuth mucks, giving Belande the pot. And then Jean-Robert was sitting on 120,000, and Hellmuth was at 21,000.
So Bobby had just had 2 aces.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. That's it.
With a 9 kicker.
With a 9 kicker.
Obviously, Phil had an ace with a worse kicker.
Right. But you would think. I mean, maybe he had some strong hand like queens or something. It's hard to see Phil playing it that way.
Seems unlikely he would raise them on both.
Oh, I agree. Well, but if he bets them,
I think it's a retarded way for Bobby to bet the hand. I mean, what the hell? You're trying to just minimize your hand here. I mean, what?
Yeah, I don't. If you think your hand's good, try to win some money with it.
Right.
I mean unless he had the sickest read on Phil, and he was like, Phil is just gonna keep raising me, and he was trying to bait him into that. I mean, that's like a play of such sophistication. It's hard for me to see that he understood what was going on so well that he knew if he kept betting.
I don't like the way Bobby bet the hand. And I'm not so sure I even like Bobby's call pre-flop. I mean, ace-9 is just a trouble hand. I mean, I probably would be more inclined to either muck it or re-raise it.
Completely. Thank you for stealing my point. That stings when you do that. I don't like it at all. Absolutely, it is a danger hand. So, raise and find out where you are or throw it away. But, I mean, when that ace comes and he keeps minimum, I mean, it takes some serious, balls for him to keep calling, betting this minimum, getting this huge raise. And then betting the minimum again, getting another big raise.
Bobby got a pot, but we don't like the way he played the hand. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the way that I would play it.
Yeah, we're done with that hand.
Unless, like you said, you think he had some kind of unbelievable read.
But I just can't see from that given information. I mean, to literally make the plays that Bobby was making, you'd almost have to know what Phil's cards were. Because you can't. It's very difficult to make these bets and then call these big raises with ace-9. The way it all played out, sure, it looks like Bobby was some kind of freaky weird genius, and somehow he just knew he was going to bet and then get raised. His hand was going to be good.
Yeah, we don't like it.
Yeah, but it's very, very, it's very difficult for me to understand how he knew that.
Okay, we made the decision.
I love caveman strategy. We have some emails we can take. I hate taking emails, just so everyone knows. Call in your questions. We want to hear your voice, just in case we need to track you down by voice recognition software later. All right. I was just wondering, every year there is usually a theme for the World Series of Poker. In 2005, it was the Young Guns. Last year it was the pro coming. Actually, 2005, I think she meant to say. Last year, it was the pro coming back to fight the amateurs. Do you think this year women players are on the rise? I'll be playing in the women's event and look forward to competing. Thanks. Gavin and Joe, you guys rock.
Nice.
No mention of me, apparently.
Props,
Lisa Weatherly.
Props,
and then it says, P.S. Fear the chair. I don't have any idea what that means.
Does she mean the electric chair?
I'm afraid of the electric chair.
There's no doubt.
I don't want it.
I'm assuming this
is want the electric chair.
No question.
I'm assuming this is in reference to Vanessa making that final table. It must be if she's saying, "Do you think women players are going to be in?" And obviously, she went out. But
I think women players are going to be about an equal force as they've been in the past. I don't think they're going to. I think you've got a handful of women that can compete on the highest level, and I think pretty much after that, it's male dominated this sport. And I probably don't think there'll be a woman win a bracelet this year, but you never know. Maybe like Jennifer Harmon or someone like that might pop through and do
That'd
it.
be cool.
She's still in the running for the stud.
Yeah. I tend to agree. I was actually having this conversation with Barry yesterday about how it's interesting that where poker was such, a white-dominated game for so many years, now it's starting to resemble just more what the population is. So you're starting to see a lot more African-American players, whereas before you just didn't see black players. It was just something that was very rare. But now it really is just starting to mirror the population, more on a one-to-one basis, which is kind of interesting. It's sort of a side note. It's
Do you see how much of a cub he is? Every day there's like some story. Me and the bear were walking down the...
Okay.
Name dropper.
Oh, yeah.
Walking in the forest. We ate a couple of small children. And well, we'll be back with the caveman, the cub, and the donkey right after this on The Circuit.
How does $10 in free poker cash sound? It's easy at VCPoker.com. Just log on, sign up, and get $10 free to start playing a wide range of games, including Hold'em. VCPoker.com makes it easy with the latest software, and your payments and payouts are always safe and secure at VCPoker.com. With 60 years of gaming excellence, VCPoker.com is a company you can trust. Sign up now for your free $10. Log on to VCPoker.com/free35 and get your money for nothing and your chips for free.
Welcome back to The Circuit, everyone. We are broadcasting on the Sports Byline Network, Sirius Channel 122, on cardplayer.com, and on the iTunes Music Store as a podcast. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Sebok at the Bellagio in Las Vegas, Nevada. Some phone calls. Danny, take it away.
Hey, Circuit crew. This is Sonny from Davis.
What's up, Sonny?
First of all, great show. I really enjoy it every day. I got a question for Joe and Gavin. Regarding your guys' bet for the World Series, what happens in the case of a tie? I'd like to make a suggestion. I'd like to suggest that in that case, you both are considered the losers, and Scott Huff gets to pick what you guys wear for the main event. Well, anyways, hope you guys like the suggestion, and hope you can answer the question for me. Thanks.
I'm going to assume they don't like the suggestion, but take it away.
Yes. In the very unlikely event that we have a tie, which it's almost a nil chance, we will both dress up.
We will both dress up. That's the answer.
But we do have a tie. We do have tiebreakers set up where I think first is number of cashes. Second is dollars.
Second is dollars. So it's virtually impossible.
Right.
But I'm fine with both of us dressing up. We would like to add, though. We've just been discussing this.
Yes.
We kind of felt that it could be a bit of a cop-out, because there's a chance that the loser could just lose really quickly, and get knocked out, and then it's really the fans are going to be pissed, and it's not going to be a big payoff. So we have added this in. The loser of the bet must wear the outfit until they are knocked out, and then must also wear the outfit for all of the days that the winner is in, so they can stay and sweat.
And must come down and root the other guy on.
Correct.
Excellent. Next phone call.
What's up, guys? This is Sean from Berkeley, California.
Yes.
Berkeley, I have a couple things. I'm coming to Vegas next month, and I was wondering where you guys are in the Bellagio doing your show so we can come by and say hi. And also, what kind of satellites they got going for the preliminary events, like the 2,000 and 5,000 no-limit tournaments. Thanks for your help, and I'm rooting for the caveman to beat the cub. Booga booga.
Ooga booga.
All right. Well, and for the sake of brevity here, I believe the satellites are running from about $125 up to $1,000, and whatever the juice is there that you can get into the main event through those single tables. They also have supers going every day. I believe they're either 200 to 300 with rebuys. As far as where the show is, we're not going to say what room because I also live here. However, if you would like to check out the show or just meet us or whatever, email thecircuit@cardplayer.com and we will get back to you. And we'll be back right after this with Tuan and Nam Le on The Circuit.
Hi, I'm Chris Ferguson, and here's my tip about sit and goes. These single table tournaments are convenient, fun, and oftentimes free. What's more, they let players experience what it feels like to be playing at a final table without having to survive a daunting field. In a sense, they're a flight simulator for final table play and should be considered mandatory homework for the serious student. To learn more about sit and goes, visit fulltiltpoker.com, where you can learn, chat, and play with the pros.
This is Gus Hansen. Thanks for listening to The Circuit.
Welcome back to The Circuit, everyone. We are broadcasting on Sports Byline Radio on Sirius Channel 122, on cardplayer.com, and on the iTunes Music Store as a podcast. Joe Sebok, Scott Huff, and Gavin Smith. And two people have joined us.
The two Lees.
That's right.
The two Lees.
We are very lucky today to have two guests in the studio. Nam and Tuan Lee. Tuan is a 3-time World Poker Tour champion, including a win at the World Poker Tour Championship. He has over $4.5 million in lifetime tournament earnings. Nam Lee is also a World Poker Tour champion after taking down this year's Bay 101 shooting star.
About time.
Has over $2 million in lifetime tournament earnings and has already booked a huge payday here at the World Series, a second place in the $2,000 No Limit Hold'em. Thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Oh, glad to be here.
And what the hell you mean finally? You act like you've been playing for like 10 years or something, and finally something.
About 25 months, man.
25 whole months in it. It took you that long to win $1 million. I feel so bad for you.
Is that really it?
That is a long time.
It is a long time. It's a lot of days.
Is that really it? 2 years and a month? Is all you've been playing?
About a little over 2 years now.
Wow. So you're making $1 million, $100,000 a month. Is that right? Is that the right math?
No, that's bad math, but it's all
no, it's pretty close, right? 25 months.
If you make $100,000 in 12 months, it's $1.2 million.
Right, exactly.
So then he would have made $2.4 million.
Right. How much
have you made?
About 2.4, right?
I don't remember.
2.3 was what it said on Card Player.
Yeah, he's made like 2.5.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't realize.
Not too bad.
My bad.
So why don't we talk a little bit? We'll start with you, Nam. Let's talk a little bit about that $2,000 No Limit event. If you can kind of walk us through, some big hands you had along the way, any major confrontations, and then the final table and how you felt there.
Final table, I think I played all right up until the heads up. I mean, I completely crashed. I don't know if it was I didn't get no sleep. I don't know. I brain freeze, you would say. Very disappointing loss. Had a big chip lead and blew it.
Well, this is the only place in the world you can have someone come in who just won $400,000 and just be like, God, that's so disappointing.
Well, it's
that's what tournament poker is.
I guess it is. We've been talking about it all week.
There's only one guy that's
we're really promoting the game. We're like, what do we have Howard Lederer with the 1,999 people that are just are miserable and one person who's happy.
But the thing is, you have to have that attitude, because I remember I used to get really upset, and one of the guys I talked to was Nam. And I would always be like, man, I can't think. I'm so upset the way I play this hand. I'm really, really angry. And what you said to me was, you know what, Joey, that's how you get better, man. So just let it burn. And I've taken that to heart, So I mean, it has to bother you that much. If you don't, then you just don't.
It
get
has
better.
to bother you because you gotta be honest with yourself. If you just tell yourself, oh, it's not meant to be, or this wasn't my tournament, then you just how you can get better unless you really beat yourself up and.
So is there anything,
know all your mistakes?
Anything in particular at that final table during the heads up? Any particular hands you can walk us through that you are beating yourself up about now that maybe we can let our listeners hear? And hear
the last one was just ridiculous.
Can you walk us through?
I mean, the number one rule in No Limit Hold'em is never go bluff on a limit pot, and the second is never call off all your chips, and that's what I did. I called all my chips with third pair. What was it?
2-6.
It was ridiculous. I don't know what I was really thinking. I guess I put him on a bluff.
I guess.
Then on the river, I was telling myself, well, if he made a bet at the pot, then I'll give him credit for whatever hand he hit, or he had a real hand. But if he went all in, that's my only shot to win this pot, And I almost raised him pre-flop, knowing that he's gonna fold anyways. But I wanted a pot, and I wanted to play a big pot, and I just called. I don't know, closed my eyes and just called and.
Yeah, well, it was a big pot. It just was big the wrong way, unfortunately.
So Tuan, how's the World Series been going for you now? Anything big to report so far for you?
No, I got really unlucky the first tournament, and I played like 3 other ones, and didn't cash in those. So I'm 1 for 3 in cashes, which is not that bad, but
yeah, it just started. I mean,
yeah,
it's nothing to get too worked up yet.
Well. You're doing a lot better than before. You're actually making a dinner break now.
That's the first time I've cashed in a less than 10,000 event, I think.
Oh, really? Since you started winning the bigger ones?
Prior to the big ones. I never cashed in the 1,500s, and anything below 10,000 I never cashed.
Tuan Lee, it's $1 million or get the hell out of my face.
Yeah. It's like first place or he's out first level.
Right. Hey, but that's actually not a bad spot to be in.
Yeah,
first place or you're out.
Yeah, I mean, where would you rather cash, right? Do you think that has anything to do with your playing style, that you're better suited for tournaments that are deeper stacked?
Yeah, of course, most definitely. I could gamble more with the 10,000 chips versus like 3,000 chips,
right? Yeah, it's kind of the same concept. You can absorb some hits. You can take some chances, whereas you can't in these little ones, which is well documented so far in our show. 1500. You play one hand, two hands. If you don't hit, you're basically playing the next hand all in, which kind of blows.
Do you make any adjustments at all, Tuan, for those, or are you just still playing that same style, and that's where you get yourself in trouble in the smaller
No, the World
events?
Series, I've made a lot of adjustments, a lot, because I know how bad the field is, and I know what I can get away with and what I can't get away with. So I've made major adjustments for the smaller events.
And especially being on TV now, you're like a big target.
So that's harder too.
So I don't got shit. I call.
And he usually doesn't have shit.
So have you had to slow down a bit then? Have you had to slow your game down a little bit?
At the beginning, I slowed it down tremendously, a lot. I really it's like an empty chair when I'm there at the beginning.
And it's such a boring poker cliche that you can't win the tournament in the beginning, but you can definitely lose it. But I think that's even more understated here at the World Series, where you have no chips to start. So you really can lose it. So Tuan, you're learning. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
I don't believe that you've slowed down that much.
I've had.
Sorry, I don't believe you.
I've seen him fold at least twice in the first round.
I used to play 5 hands around at the beginning. Now I play 4 or 3.
Because I've really tightened up tremendously.
It's a big improvement.
So that's
I play about 8.
8 is a lot.
Maybe 7.
7 also a lot. Yeah. I play 1.
Bullshit.
Wow.
Why is everyone lying tonight?
I'm tight.
I'm going to write a book, Scott Huff in a World of Liars. Nobody tells the truth on this show. Tell you that I'm terrible, that I'll probably play every hand. So, Nam, back to you, though. You had, for your finish, you picked up Card Player of the Year points. You're now in second place. Went past Kenneth James, behind the grinder. I don't know if it's something that's important to you. Is it important to you? And what do you think the chances of catching a guy like Grinder are this year?
Well, it is important to me, it'd be nice to be a Card Player of the Year, but honestly, I don't know. Grinder, he's never gone cold.
It's been a while.
He's I don't know. He's gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah, he's a machine, and he's gonna play every event. So.
Yeah, he's certainly not going to slow down. He mentioned that he will be playing every event.
He hasn't been doing that well so far, though. I don't think he's cashed yet, has he?
He cashed last night probably.
Oh, he did cash last night.
He cashed last night. We were following around with the cameras all day, too, for Cardplayer.com.
But apparently this Nam can play a little bit of poker himself, too, though.
Yeah, big year so far. Huh? The 1.5 of the 2.5 million came this year. Is that right?
Yeah.
They're only halfway
can't complain about this year.
Nam was at the final table of the 2000 tournament that I won at the Mirage. He came fourth.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That was the first time I ever met him.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I don't know if I made a bad call on this one. Gavin, you remember the hand? When Daryl Dickens moved all in with Jack 10, Carlos called with King Jack or something.
Right.
I had ace, queen of spades on the big blind.
Yeah, no, that was a good call.
I almost folded, but, I'm thinking I can move up a spot, but I actually called, and to this day, I don't know if it was a bad call or not.
I think it was great.
It is kind of a dangerous call, though. 2 all-ins with ace, queen.
Yeah, but
Daryl was playing like a goofball at the time. And
Daryl always plays like a
goofball. And Carlos, can have anything.
Yeah, he can have ace 4 and do it.
Right. I mean, there's just too good of a chance that you just got them all crushed.
Yeah, and then Carlos happened to win the hand.
Yeah.
So Joe and Tuan have something in common. Both have been mentored by the Bear, Barry Greenstein. I'm wondering how exactly did you get lucky enough to have obviously Joe's his son. Actually, why don't you share your story?
In some sort, it's actually really funny. I saw a couple posts and a couple friends of mine asked me because during the Heads Up Championship, they interviewed Barry and he was like, "Well, Tuan Lee, he's really my poker son, and it's really it's really great, blah blah." And then all my friends were like, "What? How about Joe Sebok, who is your son and also plays poker? Maybe he should be your poker son."
So I was getting to a question, which was, how did you get lucky enough to have that happen, where you have one of the greatest in the game, if not the greatest in the game, teaching how to play?
Because I used to play at the same casino he did when I first started playing, and he used to beat me for all my money, and he felt bad and said, "Hey, here's $20 back. Go drive home." And we just built a good relationship from there.
Right. The only thing I don't how much real time did you guys spend together? Or is it just kind of random times when he would talk to you? I mean, I know he has never sat you down and is like, "Here, let's walk through this and let me teach you," or anything.
Me and Barry used to talk a lot on the phone.
Right.
We would always stay in touch and he would ask how I was doing and stuff like that. He would, and I would lie to him, tell him I was doing well when it was like You know, but yeah, I've had a lot of pride where I never asked him for like much help or anything like that.
Right.
No,
but didn't Barry predict that you were going broke when you had $1 million?
Okay, before like
I heard this.
Before the WPT wins, I used to play in the Larry game with him, and I was crushing the game for like probably like 7 or 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, like out of the blue, we started playing higher now. We kicked it up. We kicked the game up, and out of the blue, Barry predicts, all right, this is the month where Tuan goes broke. He said, this is the month where Tuan goes broke, and I'm willing to bet it. And I looked at Barry and I said, you got that bet if you want it. And sure enough, I went to Vegas and I did a lot of dumb things, and and the game busted me.
Right. Was it all gambling, type situations that made you broke? I mean, what do you mean by dumb things?
Yeah, it was all gambling type situations. Just, making really dumb bets. I made some dumb bets with Ted Forrest.
Right.
Yeah, and he's beaten me out of like a lot of prop bets for like some big money.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about how much money, but it's, Ted's beaten me out of a lot of money.
I don't even think I would make a prop bet with Ted.
No,
he's so spooky. He just bet you like $1 million that you can't catch a chicken running down like Las Vegas Boulevard, and it would happen. And you'd be like, "What? There aren't even chickens in the city. How did they even happen?"
Yeah, no, he comes up with some really good ones that sounds so like amazing that you're just like, you got the way worst of it, Ted. Right. Next thing you know, you owe him like 150,000. So
how about that race bet with Sam Grizzly for 50 yards for 50,000?
Yeah, all right.
I thought it was a lock actually.
Yeah.
What was the bet?
This is the bet. Me and Ted, David Oppenheim, and a few of us were playing 4 and 800 mix at the Commerce, and Ted raced Timmy, and Timmy spotted him 5 yards and lost the bet to Ted in a 50-yard dash. And I had a piece of that bet, so I wanted to win some of that money back. And Ted said, "No, I'm not going to race you, Tuan. You look faster than Tim." So no bet. So here comes Sam Grizzle walking through the door. The guy could barely walk, nevertheless run. Ted says, "What would you spot? Would you spot Sam 10 yards?" I said,
against you?
Against me.
Yeah.
So I said, "You got to bet." And he goes, "What do you want to bet?" And I had like 43,000 in front of me.
Right.
I said, "I bet all this that I could beat Sam Grizzle in a 50-yard dash if I wanted 10 yards."
How the hell did you lose?
Well, I'm going to get into it now. And then I said, okay. He said, "You got to bet." I said, "Okay, if Sam doesn't want to run, you automatically lose 8,000. So Ted said, "Okay, you got to bet." Ted walked over to Sam and explained the situation. And Sam says, "I can't run. You crazy, Ted?" So Ted comes back and says, "All right, Sam doesn't want to run right now." I said, "Well, then you lose the bet." That was the bet. And he goes, "Well, he has a tournament too. So won't you wait, during like the break, and I'll talk to him." So I didn't want to be like a jerk about it or a dick about it. And I said, "Okay, fine. You got to the break." So now, sure enough, Ted came and, bribed him or told him whatever and said, you got to run Tuan. So he said, "Okay, fine." So he probably got like some kind of free roll deal or something just to run the race.
Right.
So we were going to run like at night, but Sam happened to make the final table for that tournament. So that was like a huge beat for me because, Sam hasn't probably ran in like years.
Yeah, of course. And then he has a prep time.
So now Ted for like the whole night trains him to run.
all night?
Yeah, trains him because Dan Harrington saw him.
But Ted had to figure it out mathematically.
Ted had it that if he
could run 40 yards in 6 seconds or 7 seconds.
7 seconds.
It'd be impossible to beat. Even like the fastest sprinter in the world couldn't.
If he runs in 6, I can't beat him.
That spot is too big.
Plain and simple. And
Ted, how can he run it in 6?
Huh?
How can Sam Grizzle run 40 yards in 6 seconds?
How can Sam Grizzle run 40 yards?
if he could run at all, like I would lose the bet. If he could run, like even skip it, I'll probably lose the bet.
Right.
It was like the same. It was like another bet. Like if I hop 50 and you run, and you run 100, that.
There's no mathematical way that.
Yeah, it was like really hard for me to win, so I lost the bet.
And every ounce of your pride.
Yeah, I mean, I had to walk back into casino and everyone laughing at me. I was like a laughing stock for a week.
Right.
Up to today, people come up to me and ask me what happened. And I just like, what race? I just deny like the whole situation.
So was that one of the stupid bets that you were talking about? Was that included in this run of stupid bets?
No, this is another bet was, this is like the bet that I thought was like a genuine lock where Ted, it was like stealing from Ted, and sure enough, he somehow slips away.
Always.
Okay, I took the casino side on this bet. I mean, we all know the casino has like a house edge of 1%, 2%. Right. So Ted said, okay, you could have the casino side today, and you can book me.
Ted was shooting dice, right?
And he was shooting dice. He was playing craps. And you could have this bet for today. So here we are, two friends, shooting dice. I'm on the other side with a pen and pad and a chair, and he's shooting dice on the other end. And sure enough, he wins like this. He went on.
Well, you
this.
booked him for 10%.
I booked him for 10%.
He ended up winning about 800,000.
Yeah,
right.
So that was like 80,000.
Yeah, 80.
Just clowning around. Another bet.
That was like, yeah,
another genius bet.
I would never bet with Ted. I don't care what it is.
Way to go, Tuan.
I guess now we know why the bear said he was going to go broke. And you know what? The bear has no problem saying right to you what he thinks. I learned this firsthand the other day.
The bear is
that
brutal.
wasn't funny.
As did I when I was told that a primate could beat me in poker.
All right, we have some phone calls for these guys.
Well, it's not untrue.
Booga booga.
Well, I heard it too after I lost the heads-up match.
Yeah, he gives it to you.
He's brutal.
He gives it right away.
Yeah.
I mean, just not even a minute after I lost, it's like...
He's brutal. You guys have no idea. I could tell you stories about when I learned how to do algebra.
No,
in 7th grade.
There's no
Things he
sugarcoating
said
with
to
the
me.
bear.
No,
the bear
it doesn't
gives
matter.
it to you straight down the grill.
Straight up.
Raw.
Yeah,
Straight down the grill.
Straight down the grill. Raw, uncut.
All right, go ahead. Play the first call.
Hi, my name's Jeff Gilmore. I'm a big fan of the show. This is a question for any of the people on the show. I'm kind of curious about the art of the false tell. I was wondering if you guys have any tricks or do anything in particular to give a false tell to get someone to call or anything like that. Just real big fan of the show and interesting to hear your comments.
What I do, actually, I just make myself believe I have aces. And I guess everything comes out naturally. Like my body presence, my table image. I don't know if that's an art, but that's what I do. And it seems to work.
I think more what he's describing is, giving off like a false tell. Like you want somebody to think that you're going to bet.
Well,
I guess it is in a sense.
Say if you have the nuts or something,
Right.
you just think, please fold. I don't want to call it, and somehow it comes off. And they pick
A little bit of method acting there, it seems like. How about you, Tuan? Anything?
I don't know. The tell is like, it's like kind of weird because like sometimes you want this person to think this about the tell, and you send mixed signals, and you don't want him to call, and now he automatically calls, and when you do want him to call, he doesn't call. So I mean it's interpretation, like how the other person interprets it. I think it's like overrated, if not. I don't know.
You're talking about physical tells. I think they're totally overrated.
Yeah, I
personally.
think they're just totally overrated. I mean, you get more analysis through the betting,
absolutely,
and how they played. I mean, how the hand played out and stuff like that. I think that gives you more information than physical tells.
Yeah, and I also think, the better the player, the less. The only time I would ever even try to give off a physical tell is if I'm playing a real amateur, and I know that if they're going to read what I do to be like a 1-to-1 to how I feel.
Definitely.
Like if you're playing, like if I'm playing with Tuan or if I'm sitting here with Gavin or Nam, and I grab my chips to act like I'm going to bet, I know that they know that that's ridiculous. Like, I know that they're looking at me going, okay. But you can do that, to an amateur player because they haven't gotten to that level of thinking yet. And they just are like, oh, shit, he grabbed chips. Okay, he's going to bet.
I think it's all how they interpret it or other people interpret, their tells. I mean, it's just the betting method is much more of a tell than physical tells.
Yeah, actually, over in Tulsa, I never talk a game. I just play my cards, and over there's so many amateurs. I've noticed I was talking to the whole table actually, getting them to do things I wanted to do. Like you said, I'll check it, and as soon as I check, I'll grab my chips ready to call.
Exactly, and it scares the hell out of them.
Don't bet, I'm gonna call you. It slows them down, stuff like that. Or like just they're in the small blind, I'm in the big blind. I'd be like, hey, I got a hand, and they'd be like, oh, thanks, and fold and say thank you,
thank you,
stuff like that.
Thank you for the free information.
But it only works on amateurs.
Yes.
I agree, 100%.
All right, next call.
Yo, this is Matty Milligan from Toronto. You chip dumping donks out there. I'm calling to ask Tuan Le how it felt to win at Foxwoods and then the WP Championship in the same season, which made him the all-time money leader on the World Poker Tour. As well, I would like to know who you guys think is better, Nam or Tuan Le.
Ooh.
I said this way before that I always thought Nam methodically and systematically was a better player than me. Automatically he has the fundamentals down much better than me. And I still stick by it today, obviously, And I think I'm right about it. About winning the two championships in one season. Well, I needed the money, so it made that a lot easier. And till today, it doesn't hit me. All the records and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not like a records kind of person. So when people come up to me and ask me how does it feel to be the all-time money leader, I don't know how to answer a question like that. I just shrug it off and I say I don't know. I just keep walking.
Right.
Well, this might sound like a lot of bullshit, but like Tuan is my hero still. I believe he's a better player, actually. He does things I can't even imagine, even if I try to do, He's an all-time money winner. He's won 2 WPTs. Can't argue with that.
Right.
I think Tuan's more advanced, what you would say. And I think I'm just more driven than motivated than he is. But when he's motivated, I think he can possibly... You could say... maybe in the future, Tuan could be the best player in the world. I don't think I could ever be the best player in the world as a poker player.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, we're all kind of part of the same poker family, so I mean, I know a lot about both their games. And I think Tuan's estimation is right on. I've played with Nam a lot. He's very methodical. He's very intimidating. I hate playing with him. I love playing with you because I learn a lot every single time I do.
And because you beat me out every hand.
Oh,
and raise my blind every time, and I fold like a little girl.
Yeah, well, except for the big hands, I win all the small ones, and you win the tournament. So I think we're even. But I was gonna say, but Tuan is more of he's gonna read the player. I mean, he's gonna move in with the garbage if he feels like the guy's weak. He kind of falls more into that spook category, where he's gonna make things kind of happen out of nowhere. So I don't think it's even an answerable question. I don't think either of you are any better than the other one. I think you're very different style of players.
I think you both play pretty damn good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're both great. And to be completely honest, I mean, you're both 2 of my heroes. I'd look at you guys to try to learn, how to improve my game all the time. So I think it's actually kind of a hard question to answer.
Yeah, and plus we set the bar for you.
Yeah.
Because now you got to hear it from Barry.
I know.
Combined, all you have to catch up to is about $6.5 million. All right, let's take the last call.
Hi, guys. Great show. This is Guy calling from Phoenix. Had a question for Nam Le. First, congratulations on the second place finish in Monday's $2,000 event.
Thank you.
And I wonder what Nam thought of the various internet players that were at that final table. I know the eventual winner, Mark, was predominantly an internet player. And the guy in Nam's right, Kevin Peterson, I think, plays mostly on line 2 as well. So I was wondering what he thought of these internet players play at a live final table. Thanks. Keep up the good work.
I wasn't too impressed, actually. I mean, I know they're great players. At the table, I knew Mark was the most clever player at the table. Kevin, I didn't get to play much of him. I know he's a bright kid, but they didn't do. I didn't see too much of their play because a lot of it was just raise, fold, raise, fold, raise, fold, raise, fold, and I don't know. I mean, Mark beat me, so I got to give credit to that.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a televised table?
Yeah, it was.
Maybe you'll know more after you watch the telecast. See some of the whole cards, possibly.
Yeah, I can't wait to see myself get beat.
No, you know what, man? The only thing we've talked about is if you just had dictated the action more, you'd have won. I have no doubt. If you had just taken away the pole position from Mark.
I mean, heads up, there's a lot of chips, there's a lot of play, and I don't know what would happen. I can't make no excuses, but I think if I just sat back and just really thought what was going on, I would have done better. But I just let him dictate. He made me guess and turn me one dimension.
Yeah.
Once you turn one dimension.
I think if you actually had to put some chips into the pot where you're actually trying to find out information with the 6s, you probably would have been better off to.
Yeah.
Instead of just calling all the way. If you ever put in a raise and you can find out where you're at in the hand, then you're not going to go broke with it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right.
Oh, but what was that girl's name? Vanessa. Oh man, she's probably one of the most best women player I've seen. I mean, she was. I
was real impressed with Vanessa.
She made that one big play. I mean, she raised she made it 66,000, got a call, and Kevin re-raised 200,000. She back raised all in like 600,000. I mean, not many players can do that, especially female players. Right. And I thought it was really insult to her when they had the introduction of the final table.
Yeah.
And they were talking about female players coming up, and this could be the potential 10th winner. I really thought they were referring to her, and then they came out with Liz Lou, and I'm like,
that was a cheap shot.
I read about
Liz
that.
Liz is a great player, but we got a female
Vanessa
player
is at the final table as it's going
second
on.
So they wrote her off before the tournament even started by saying, we have a potential 10th bracelet winner, and she's not even at the table.
Yeah,
that was the ultimate like spit in the face to Vanessa.
It was definitely a spit in the face.
All right, well, we are short on time here, guys. Congratulations on all your success. Thank you for coming up and doing the show. We look forward to having you on again.
Yeah, no problem.
No, I'm never coming back to this show. This show sucks. Don't ever have me back here.
We'll just get Ted Forrest to prop back into it.
I know they have to come on.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Well, we here at the Circuit are excited to have Pacific Poker on board with the show, one of our new sponsors. If you're new to poker, why don't you check out Pacific Poker's free practice play version to get the hang of the game. If you're ready for the rush of playing for real money, Pacific Poker will start you off on the winning track with a guaranteed 25% bonus up to $100 on your first deposit. They feature a wide variety of table stakes, and poker tournaments never stop. The daily $10,000 tournament is among the internet's richest daily prize pools. At Pacific Poker, you can count on fast and friendly customer service, great bonuses, and thrilling events. Welcome back to the Circuit, everyone. We are broadcasting on Sports Byline Radio on Sirius Channel 122, as well as cardplayer.com and the iTunes Music Store as a podcast. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, Joe Sebok, all in the Bellagio, all hungry. Am I right, boys? All right, well, we have a couple of things from Card Player to tell you about today. The Card Player online store still 50% off on everything, including those Circuit autographed Joe Sebok sweatshirts that don't exist. But someone did send us an email today, and I have to show you this after the show, with the official Joe Sebok t-shirt. He made it and sent it in and like photoshopped it.
Are you kidding?
All I have to say is, dude, that was horrible. It's so bad. It's not even close. It's like it was like a 3-year-old was using paint for the first time, and like their dad had clip art of Joe Sebok for some unknown reason.
I really want to see it.
Really bad. And then also we have our Card Player poker free rolls going still. Card Player wants to make everybody a better player, obviously, and they will reward you with $3,000 in prize money every month for playing in their free rolls. It's as simple as signing up, and it's free to everyone. All you have to do is check it out, www.cardplayer.com/free_poker, and register for the free roll. Download the client, get in the game today, win your share of $3,000. All right, boys. Well, we'd like to thank our guests tonight, Nam and Tuan Lee. Tomorrow we will have Roland DeWolf on the show, and a special announcement about what's going on Friday at the World Series of Poker.
This is big news.
It involves the circuit, and it is big news.
It involves the steaming donkey, Scott Huff.
That's right, everybody. Make sure to tune into the circuit tomorrow. Thanks, as always, for listening. From the Bellagio, Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Sebok.
Later.